Hey. Hi, guys. All right. Libras, we're going to do a little message here, but we're going to keep it coming in from a couple different angles. I want to ask what Libra doesn't see. And first off, kind of like, what's the universe's spin on this? Like what things might be happening, external to Libra that they don't see in their everyday life, but is, energetically like rolling toward them, or things that are, like occurring around them. And then we'll also kind of look at it in context of like specifically more relationship, because we are kind of relationship and cosmic focused this week. Also, just so you guys know, I feel bad. This is kind of a bonus for you guys because I took down one of your videos. I'm having to do that as YouTube's working really hard behind the scenes, getting some little things like they're looking into it. I've experienced a bunch of problems, and not just me, like it sounds like there's been lots of reports of the same thing. So as we've been working through some little tech glitches here and there, it looks like things are getting better, but I still have videos that are still processing for days. And so I'll re-release that Libra video that I took down. I've had to take down several. So I feel a little bit mean taking stuff away, but I don't even know if you guys could see it properly or what was going on. So let's just move forward. And I know things are getting better and better, so I will return that and make it visible again when I can. But in the meantime, here's a little bonus to make up for it. We've got the two of air. So it says there is a blocked energy. This could be somebody else is being blocked from reaching out to Libra right now. So what's happening that Libra doesn't see is, okay, I don't know if this is somebody who is, here I was just talking about, like little tech glitches, and, those things happen from time to time. I mean, how could it not, right? Technology has to do so much for us all the time. Of course, it deserves a rest once in a while too, just like we do. But we have somebody trying to send a message, a letter. Now, maybe this is like telepathic. Maybe this is somebody that is being blissfully blocked from accessing Libra. Hi, guys. So good to see you. There's definitely going to be, we've got Taurus energy also. We definitely have this energy here of what Libra doesn't see is that, yes, there are blockages. Yes, there are things that are being prevented from coming in. And it could be somebody that would have, it could be Taurus energy, somebody that would have wanted to send a message that would have figuratively put Libra in like, oh man, now I have this obligation. I've got to do this because somebody wrote me and their message came through and they made me feel kind of guilty. And now I feel like I have to. This is somebody who could be stubbornly always, trying to access Libra. And right now they're having a hard time getting that message through. So Libra might be missing a message, a text, something like that from somebody who would typically be trying to get something out of them anyway. We see this person's got another person in the headlock and it's like, oh my God, if I answer the phone and they're able to tell me that they want me to do such and such for them, it means I'm going to have to do it. But if I never get the message, I didn't even know they were kind of demanding that I'm supposed to do X, Y, or Z for them. I feel like the universe is blissfully letting Libra know, like, the Libra just might be protected a little bit right now from somebody who wants Libra's attention. And it could be somebody that is a little bit bossy. I'm not saying that the Taurus energy would normally be that way. It's just what we see on that particular card. So I like the fact that there's a bit of a protection there. Okay, let's take a look. What does Libra not see in regards to romance? We have got the 9 of Sacred Circles. Okay, that's actually a single person's abundance and somebody who's feeling amazing right now. We have the Hanged Man. And obviously, okay, so we have, I would argue that we have a new person who's not yet stepped into Libra's life. We may have, this connection hasn't been given birth to yet. We have somebody that has been working on getting really grounded, really centered in their head, their heart, their spiritual self. This is somebody who's like learned to listen to their intuition. Now, certainly this could be Libra as well, but it just says that there's a little bit of a delay right now in romance, but that's not a bad thing at all. I love the fact that on that Hanged Man, they decided to put a baby who is, the bun is still in the oven for a little bit because, got to make sure all the little fingers and toes are all fully built and, got to make sure that baby's really ready to be born and make sure that, that this relationship can come out and be successful. And if it's not right now, that's okay. This little bit of a delay is for a good reason. Somebody is like building up their singlehood, they're building up their confidence, they're building up their sense of self-assuredness. And we want to be that sure, or we want the other person to be that sure of themselves before they try coming toward us. We have a 5 of Wands upright. This definitely feels like maybe there's a little bit more to think about. Maybe there's it does, everything here says that there's like some waiting, there's some delays, but none of this looks like it's a punishment. If Libra's feeling like, why do I keep getting cards of delays? I would say this is all in Libra's favor, because somebody really needs to think long and hard before they approach Libra. We could have a Pisces who wants to approach Libra. We could have them, like figuring out some other really important components of their life. If they have any, we'll say drama, any kind of laundry that they still need to wash your laundry before you go visiting Libra. Okay, so this is somebody who's going to be reappearing in Libra's life. We have the Judgment card. Sorry, Libra, but we do have an ex who would be coming in very, very different when they finally do. This is someone who you notice has been some long, lonely nights. They've been sleeping alone. There's a song trying to bust in my head. Something about I've been sleeping alone. Oh, gosh, it's going to drive me nuts that I can't think of the song. But they've been sleeping alone for many nights in a row, and they've been kind of rebuilding themselves, and they've been kind of, getting their energy balanced and getting themselves leveled up. And they're asking themselves carefully, cautiously, when should I reach out to Libra? I'm feeling pretty good, but something still says, hang on, let me do another self-check. Am I really in a place where I can walk right up to the temple? Can I really go knock on Libra's door? Can I really show my best self to Libra? Have I done the work that I needed to? Because if I'm going to go ask Libra to talk to me again, I got to make sure that I'm in good condition, that my heart is steady, that I'm, like I did my dirty laundry. That's actually really nice. When they do come through, it's going to be like jumping through a portal. This is going to come across very, very different. I feel like Libra will see a new version of them. It is to their credit that they're taking so long to revamp themselves. Think about like a building that's under reconstruction, and sometimes you just paint the outside of a building and it's like, oh yay, brand new, grand opening. But other times businesses, think of like let's say a business that used to be a full-on restaurant, and then it's being turned into a spa. I mean, it's going to be really different, right? There goes the kitchen, there goes the booths, there goes the seating, and now it's going to be a spa and, resting rooms and all kinds of things. Like, that's how different this is going to be. Someone is revamping themselves completely, has been for a long time. I also like the fact that they've been sleeping alone for a long time to like cleanse the energy. But what Libra doesn't see, of course, is that this person has been doing this kind of revamping. 5 of Cups. Hang on. Well, I didn't mention that Scorpio energy here. With that 5 of Cups energy, I also feel like this person's been dealing with whatever grief. If they feel like they did something, they chose the wrong partner at one point in time, and that could have been, if they know that Libra was the king or the queen, like the person that they both admired and wish that they had been with, but they chose wrong. That's the other thing that they have to be able to address. Why didn't I choose my Libra? None of this says Libra has to take this person back or anything like that. It's just, in this storyline, I just wanted to ask, what does our fictional Libra character not see happening? This person who's coming toward Libra, not yet, but they're sorting all this out behind the scenes. They know that they have to have answers for all of their past actions, which means they have to know why they did what they did. What is it that was buried inside of them? And it's kind of like their own awareness is trickling through. They're understanding why they made those mistakes. I think this is somebody who didn't choose Libra. Maybe they chose to stay in some other connection. Maybe they could have asked Libra out, but instead asked somebody else out. And it wasn't, not to be disrespectful to this individual they did choose, but you notice their eyes are glued still to whom I would assume is Libra, even as they got somebody else on their arm. It's like, why didn't I ask out Libra? Why did I ask out this other person? Maybe because, well, they're the ones having to answer that question. But I would just argue this card already tells me This person's wearing a crown. Libra is somebody that they needed to be powerful for. They needed to be their best self to match with, an emperor or an empress, a king or a queen. If that's how they viewed Libra, they put Libra up on a pedestal, and they may not have tried to date Libra because they were like, I'm not ready to, that's intimidating. I mean, how could I be with somebody like Libra? So if they intentionally did not gravitate toward Libra, it doesn't look like it was to be rude or disrespectful toward Libra. If they chose somebody other than Libra, it's because they didn't think they could stand beside Libra. They didn't think that they had the confidence to do that. But again, this is them still sorting that out because they cannot approach Libra until they can answer that question in themselves. Queen of Sacred Circles. Yeah, this again, we see like the phases of the moon here, another full moon here, obviously full moon here, strong Pisces energy. Now we're bringing in some Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy. And this shows passage of time. This shows maturity, right? From baby to the golden years. And there's a groundedness. I think they knew if I'm with Libra, I have to grow up. I have to mature. This will be the relationship of my lifetime. Maybe they weren't ready for a long-term relationship with somebody that they would have to be mature for. Maybe they were afraid that they weren't ever going to feel like they got a grasp on life. All I can say is that this is the kind of stuff that is preventing them from coming forward because this is the final stuff that they're working on. This character, we saw they're still churning stuff over in their mind. They have more confidence, but they're not coming forward because they have to be able to answer to Libra why I didn't choose you in the first place, Libra. Why didn't I move towards you? Why did I choose the wrong person? Let me ask this. Is Libra even aware that this person exists, or this person didn't choose them? Because this could have been that, like I said before, somebody that didn't choose to ask Libra out. They asked somebody else out that was not going to require so much of them. Oh gosh, that song by Millie Jackson, Sing Me a Song, Sweet Music Man. In it, she says something about like, but you surround yourself with people who demand so little of you. Oh, but nobody sings a love song quite like you do. It's a great song. Millie has such an amazing voice. She is, oh my God, her voice is incredible. One of my favorite female voices. But you touched my heart with your beautiful song, and you even had me singing along right with you. But then you changed the words and added harmony, and you sang the song you'd written for me to someone new. But nobody sings a love song quite like you do. It's a song about, somebody who's seeking attention, and, they did want to be with her, but then they still chose another route because they were still seeking like attention. And she's just, in the song, she's just kind of like aware of all that and saying, also, you would have had to level up to be with me and stay with me, and you didn't want to. You chose people that demand less of you. And I feel like that is an appropriate like quote, because that's what this is feeling like when I see this card. I would have had to be more to be with Libra. Now I asked, does Libra know any of this? Libra's like, oh, kidding me? The devil. Yes. Yes, I know that person was nuts about me. I know they stared at me. I know they salivated over me. I know they really wanted me. And I also know that I let them go because they had some stuff to go grow up about. There's that awakening, which is the Judgment card again, Scorpio energy, and also Capricorn. Really looks like we've got this energy of air bubble. You're cracking me up. It looks like Libra was able to let them go. 9 of Wands. If anything, Libra said it sucked to have to let them go, but better than dealing with somebody who wants me but is not going to be able to stay with me. Libra says they didn't choose someone over me. I wouldn't have stayed with them. It hurt to have to let them go. But Libra sees this a little bit differently. So Libra might have had passion with them because it's a very lusty card. Libra might have been like, oh, I had a really good time with them. And I also know that they had such toxicity. Yeah, they probably did need other people to make them feel more, special. Yes, we might have started a passionate connection, but then I didn't like the traits that I saw in them, and they weren't going to level up. And so I let them go. Maybe they did choose somebody else, and that stung, that hurt. But you know what? I'm sorry that I can't deal with, predatory, kind of like always on the hunt for who will make me feel special. You need to know that you need to have confidence in yourself. And if they didn't have confidence in themselves, and remember, that was the first bit of this. They've been working on getting that confidence in themselves and then evaluating why did they not just choose Libra when they really wanted Libra all this time. This is somebody who's always wanted Libra, but they had to learn, why was I not able to just confidently choose Libra? Libra seems to have worked it all out, though, a long time ago. This doesn't look like a shocker to Libra. I just want to know this. If Libra's unaware that this person is doing the work on themselves, does that mean that Libra has any interest if they were to show back up as a changed individual? This is just hypothetical, right? Because Libra does not need to take this person back. Queen of Cups. Libra's like, look, I've got some pearls of wisdom here, but I also know not to fight my heart. If somebody came back in and they were whole and they were a great version of themselves and they were offering me a 10 of cups, no matter who it is, if they're whole, they're healthy, they're offering me something that I want and I'm drawn to them, hell yes, I'm going to say yes. Why would I be foolish enough to ever deny what I genuinely want if what I want is healthy and appropriate? And this is a Libra who doesn't believe in grudges, and they don't believe in wasting their own good time or lying to themselves. If they see what they like, regardless of whatever happened in the past, if something has changed, if circumstances are different, and if Libra wants it, Libra's like, I let myself go with what I want. If it's healthy, if it's, kind, if it's something that is genuinely appropriate and my heart wants it, I wouldn't let the past stop me. I wouldn't let their past mistakes or anything like that stop me. I'm advocating for my happiness. So that means I'll say yes to things that I want, as long as it meets the criteria of, something that gives back to me and is my true 10 of cups. That is probably one of the greatest messages I have ever seen. The fact that a character is like, has nothing to do with the past. What is it now? I don't deny myself things that I actually want that are meeting my needs and are healthy and good choices at this point. The past, if we never let go of anything in the past, we could never, then we give no grace and nobody ever gets a second chance, or we never get a second chance. Nah, I'm not going to do that to myself. Kind of an amazing message on that. Well done, Libra. That is like the most empowered way to look at. It's not like, oh, I'm taking back the ex who cheated on me and now I feel like I'm not allowed to. I should be mad, or I should still. No, this Libra's like, F the past. I deal now with what I want. Jessica Rios, thank you, Angel. You are so generous. Thank you, babe. Really good to see everybody. Annie S., Heidi, Prime Creator, Alan Smith, Laura, Lalu, Bruce Reed, Kaz, Annette, AJ, Pang, Air Bubble, thanks again. Jessica Rios, thank you so much. And Solomon and Fees Mystic Faith, really good to see you guys. All right, I'm going to bounce out before this gets too long. We are working within parameters still of keeping shorter videos so they process. Lots of love, guys. Bye.